Good morning, GLA middle schoolers. It is Mr. Manta here. Today's date is Tuesday, May 26th of 2020, and my gosh, it has been a long time, hasn't it? The last time we had an actual video lesson was our chemistry experiment, I want to say on Wednesday of last week. And we had our test on Thursday, we didn't have science Friday, then we had the weekend, then we had Memorial Day yesterday, and now finally it's Tuesday, and we're getting back to a regular, well, kind of a regular science video lesson. It also means that today is the very special day which I get to announce our seventh and final unit in science class, which is going to be dun, 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 our planet. Ladies and gents, this will be an introduction into what I would kind of call environmental science, would probably be the best way to put it. It's a topic that is very near and dear to my heart because it's what I majored in college, and it's also just something that I'm very passionate about in general. We're going to be learning all about the beauty of our planet and all of the natural species that exist all across it, and how getting a little bit into how everything came to be the way that it is, and some of the different habitats and stuff that exist across the world. But we're also going to be learning about kind of the darker parts of the current state of planet Earth, which is some of the major problems that we're facing around Earth, like deforestation and excesses of trash and air pollution and plastic waste in the oceans, all that kind of stuff as well, in addition to, all the beautiful stuff that we love looking at pictures of. We're going to have to talk about some of the problems that the Earth faces as well, too. Today is just going to be a quick little introduction. And actually, today is really going to be mostly announcements, kind of housekeeping stuff. We're not getting into new content so much today. So, in fact, there are classwork questions, but there is no exit ticket today. You're welcome. Congratulations. You still have to complete the classwork, though, in order to be counted complete. So make sure you do that. All right, like I said, we got, actually, here we go. We got a classwork question right off the bat. Here it is. Since we're getting into this new unit on environmental science and the planet and the health of the planet, I want to start off by kind of getting some of your guys' opinions. So this question doesn't really have any right answer. I just want to ask you guys, how do you feel about nature? You don't have to answer exactly every single one of these questions, but I want you to give me, a good few sentences about how you feel about nature. For example, do you think it's beautiful and important, or it's not that big of a deal? Do you like to visit natural places? Do you like animals, or do they scare you? I want to get a sense of how you feel about the natural world. Do you feel like you have a really close connection to it, or it's something that's really far away, you don't know much about it? Would you like to know more about it? Go ahead and pause this video and answer classwork question 1 now. Alright, I'm now going to go ahead and move along, assuming that you've answered that. I'm really curious to read your guys' responses about how you feel. I mean, I know how I feel about nature, but I'm really curious to hear how you guys feel about it. Alright, our first big announcement, though, is, of course, shouting out all the students who continue to do so many at-home science experiments. Now, if you remember all the way back on Wednesday of last week, I told you guys that there had been 13 students who had thus far done their science experiments, and we needed to get to 15 for Mr. Manta to cut his hair. Well, I did get a few videos and stuff over the weekend, but a lot of them were from students who had already done science experiments. So here are Ali and Aaliyah making some homemade ice cream. Here is Layla making some homemade ice cream, shaking up the bag. I got a picture of homemade ice cream from JL, who apparently mixed in strawberry flavoring and made strawberry ice cream. Sounds delicious. I was jealous. But then I also got a couple new people doing experiments. I got a video of Alante mixing invisible ink and writing some secret messages, which is 14. And then, out of nowhere, all of a sudden, I got a picture from Lanaya King in 6th grade doing a baking soda and vinegar experiment and making a plastic glove stand up on its end. And I realized, oh my god, that brings us to the full list of 15 students doing at-home science experiments to round out our chemistry unit. And that makes me so happy, and at the same time, that makes me so nervous, because that means it's official. I will be cutting my hair, and I'll be a very nervous, scared, bald man for the next couple of months. And we'll see how it goes. It'll be a new experience. Who knows, man? Here's the deal. I'm not going to say it's going to be in the next couple of weeks. I don't have an exact date in mind, but at some point I'm going to get Amy, probably Mr. Match's girlfriend, Miss Duggan, you guys know her as, to come back out to my mom's house. She's going to make a funny video of it all and make it a good time. And then if there's a Zoom meeting that you guys are a part of, that maybe Miss Courier or Miss Merrick hosts, I'll also come on with my newly shaved head, and whoever is in attendance can make fun of Mr. Manta, throw some jokes, but hopefully be nice and say a nice ending to the year goodbye to me, and so long to my hair as well. Alright, so enough enough out of that. This poor guy in this picture. Alright, enough of that. Second announcement is your tests. Yes, obviously, you took a chemistry test on Thursday. You're probably wondering what's up with it. First of all, I returned your scores on the chemistry test last night. So I graded everything over the weekend, and as of last night, I entered your scores and released them on Google Classroom so that you can go and look at them. How do you look at them? Well, if this is your screen right here looking at Google Classroom, you have to make sure that you're on your science class, of course, going to the classwork tab at the top, and then this button up here that says view your work. That will, the first thing that you'll see there that was most recently graded will be your science test. If you got less than an 18, so the test was out of 30 points. If you got less than an 18, which would be a 60%, then you, my friend, have a makeup test assigned today that you need to complete. And yes, you do need to complete that today, because this video lesson, I'm keeping it really short. There's no exit ticket, so instead, you're going to make up your test. I recommend taking a little bit more time, looking through your notes, and trying to get better than an 18. I will count whichever score is the stronger one. So if you got a 17 on your on your first test, then you get a 21. I'll count the 21. If you got a 17 on the last test, now the second time you only get a 13, well, then your 17 stays as your score. So yes, for those of you who got less than an 18, you will see a makeup test assigned in your Google Classroom. You need to do that today. If you got above an 18, but you also want a chance to do a makeup test and do even better, then you can go ahead and leave a private comment maybe on this video or have your parent text me, and I can assign the makeup test to you as well. Alright, third announcement is a little bit of housekeeping, because I want to talk for a second about who has missing assignments and who doesn't. Who's been doing all of their science assignments, who has just a couple that are missing, because I imagine there's a lot of you students out there who are kind of feeling like this emoji fellow right here, and you're thinking, I think I've turned in all of my science assignments. Haven't I? But you're not totally sure. You're like, I'm pretty sure I've been good every day, but maybe you missed something along the way, and I want to fix that problem because we're into a new unit now, and I want to clean up everything from the old units before we move on to any new material. So, here's the deal. I'm going to tell all of you, right now, in this video, whether or not you are missing assignments. I'm going to show everyone's current status, whether or not they're complete, missing a little bit, or missing a lot. If you have everything complete, then heck, congratulations to you. Today is a short lesson, and there's no exit ticket, so you get an easy day in science. Awesome. If you have missing assignments, though, well, then you're in luck too, because today is a short lesson with no exit ticket. I'm hinting there that if you're someone with missing assignments, you should go make up that missing work today. At least get started on it today, and maybe get it finished if it's only a couple little things that you should knock out. Alright, in order to announce officially who has completed every single science assignment, and to those of you who are on this list, I have to say I'm really impressed. You have been super on top of your work since we've been to online learning. You've shown a ton of personal responsibility. I think you're going to be doing great in the next grade and in high school and in college. That makes me really happy. I haven't given you guys enough credit here. I'm going to list off the Hall of Fame for all three of our classes. These are people with all of their assignments currently complete, either because they did them all on time in the first place, or even some of you guys, you got off for a few days, but then you said, hey, I'm going to go make stuff up, and you did. And you have all of your assignments complete now. So congratulations. Within the University of Purdue, our Hall of Fame, people who have every single assignment complete are Alante, Ali, Arthur, Charles, Christian, Christopher Perkins, Derek, Emanuela, Jaden, JL, Jalen, Kiara, Jamila, Michelle, Madeline, and Yaneli. Woohoo! That is quite a list, Purdue. Well done. It makes me so happy to see that, honestly, a majority of students are completing all of their assignments. At the University of Tennessee, we have also quite a list. We have Aaliyah Reese, Aniche, Azaria, Kamira, David, Janaya, Cadence, Kendrick, London, Mina, Quincy, Sinclair, Takaya, Terrence, and Vickiana. Woo! Hall of Fame entries. All of you guys are all good to go. You have a super short day in science. You should pat yourselves on the back. And lastly, in Georgia Tech, you guys are struggling a little bit compared to the 5th graders, I gotta say. But the people on this list aren't struggling. The people on this list are carrying the team right here. Georgia Tech, our Hall of Famers are Anaya, Christopher, CJ, Edgar, Jernila, Josh, Contrell, Lamarcus, and Tashaya. Woo! Props to you guys. I am very impressed with your responsibility. Each and every one of you guys should be very proud. That's something awesome. Now, I also want to say that a few of you are probably feeling like this kid right here at the moment because you didn't see your name show up on the list. And you're thinking, I have missing assignments? How many? Because maybe you thought that you had done all your assignments, and this is a surprise to you that you weren't on that list just now. So, I also want to announce not a Hall of Fame, but what I'm going to call the Hall of Fix. This is people who have almost all their assignments done, and they have just a few that are missing, maybe one, maybe like 4 or 5, and they could literally fix it today as soon as this video is over, and then they would be all complete, and then they could be on the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fix is these people from my 3 classes. In Purdue, that is Aberdeen, Cameron, Jemiah T, Journey, Layla, Nyla, Robert, and Victory. In Tennessee, it's Aaliyah Davis, Adon, Brianna, Chris Potlan, EJ, and LaShawn. And in Georgia Tech, it's like half the kids in Georgia Tech. You guys are, mostly doing good, but everyone's missing like 1 or 2 things that's throwing you off. It's Alvin, Diallo, Erica, Jay, Jihad, Kai, Karen, Lucero, Marcus, Nevea, Reg, and Trevor. So you guys, as soon as this video finishes and you not got the classwork, should go back through. Oh, I'll show you in a second what you have to do and fix those missing assignments. And lastly, we do have one that I'm going to call the Hall of Uh-oh. And that is for folks who have several missing assignments and really need to start taking on making up some of this missing work. Because right now it's dragging your grade down quite a lot. What I would suggest is doing like 2 or 3, missing lessons each day until you are made up and you have everything made up and complete. This list for the Hall of Uh-oh, who got to get on this stuff, I'm probably in touch with your parents already. In Purdue is Brooklyn, Jemiah Vaughn, Jaira, Kennedy, Serenity, Tyrell, and Zontez. In Tennessee, it's Shatoni, Izzy, Jamia, Jathan, Kamari, Matthew, Michaela, Noah, and Reg. And in Georgia Tech, it is Aria, Aaliyah, Shavella, Hosanna, Bree, Jalen, Carter, Lanaya P, and Lanaya K, and Tia. Alright, so I want to see each and every one of you guys starting to make up a few assignments per day. Some of you guys have been good at that at times. You've been making up a few assignments, then you fall back off because something in life gets in the way, and I understand that. But ultimately, we got to get all these assignments completed. Alright, you might be asking at this point now, excuse me, Mr. Teacher Man, how do I see which assignments I need to make up? Well, I talked about this in the Guide to Your Science Grade video, but let's go through it again really quick. So let's imagine that this is your screen. You're here on the Google Classroom page. And up at the top, you've selected the option that says Classwork, so you can see all of our assignments. You're always going to need to click this button that says View Your Work. That will take you to a page that looks like this. On this page, you'll see, whatever your name is here, and you'll also see your current grade in science class right up here. But what I suggest is the best way to look at all of these various assignments that you have is to filter it, and specifically to click this little label over here that says Returned with Grade. That's all the assignments that you submitted, I graded, and now I have returned them to you with a grade that add up to create whatever your current grade in the class is. So you need to come over here and click this little button that says Returned with Grade, and then you will see a screen that looks something like this. And you'll see all of your assignments, and they'll list them all out, and then you'll also see the score that you got on each and every one of those assignments. This person has been getting some pretty high scores across the board, gotta say. Now what you need to do to see if you have missing assignments is actually not to look at this label that's called missing, because that's a Google Classroom thing that's different from how I'm doing it, but instead is to start scrolling down through all of these assignments and look for any of them that have a little, all through these grades, these assignments, and look for any of them that have a 0 for your grade and they say not turned in. So this same student right here, they were doing so well for the most part, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 assignments that are currently scored as a 0 because they were never turned in. That means you can open those assignments back up, you can still complete the classwork form or the exit ticket or whatever it is, and it will notify me so that I know to go back in and grade it. You don't need to leave a private comment anymore. I actually fixed that on my end, and so I just need you guys to go in and actually do these missing assignments, whether that's 1 for some of you or whether that's several for others. Alright, I want to make the last couple notes on this, which is these. Note number 1. When you're going back and you're doing these makeup assignments, always go back and watch the video lesson before making up the assignments so that you can do well. So, for example, this student right here, they're seeing, they're mixing Unit 6, Lesson 2 particles, exit ticket, and classwork. They're not just going to open those assignments and fill out the form because they're going to get zeros again. They don't know the information. So instead, they're going to go and watch the Unit 6, Lesson 2 particles video lesson and then use that information to do the exit ticket and the classwork. And then they're going to do that for Unit 6, Lesson 1, and then for the Unit 5 bonus. Actually, they probably should go from the oldest stuff first and go that direction. So maybe they would do this one first, watch the video lesson, the exit ticket, then these ones, and then these ones. But always watch the video lesson. Otherwise, you're not learning anything. That's silly. You're going to get a 0 again. Note number 2. You may also have zeros, some of you, on assignments that you in fact did turn in. Maybe you got a 0 out of 3 on an exit ticket. Maybe you didn't put very much effort into your classwork assignments and I gave you a 0. If you want to make any of those up, please contact me. Have your parent text me or leave a private comment and say, hey, I would like to make this up, do this better. Because I have to go in and delete your old answers so you can then give me some new ones as well. Alright, you might be thinking at this point, wait a minute, this has been a lot of announcements. Wasn't this supposed to be a lesson about our planet? You might be looking like this disappointed baby chimpanzee right now. Well, folks, we're going to get started tomorrow on our planet, and I'm so excited to do so. For today, that brings us to classwork question 2. And again, I want to gather a little bit more background knowledge of what you guys already know about the environment before digging in and teaching you new stuff, so we're not repeating stuff. So I want to ask you guys, what do you think is currently the biggest environmental problem that our planet faces? Now, in asking this, I'm referring to like the problems that the planet itself faces, the environment, nature, not people. So don't tell me coronavirus is the biggest problem right now. That's the biggest problem, sure, for people, but not for the planet's health, right? I want you to pick what you think is the biggest environment. Maybe it's whatever, climate change or pollution or trash or deforestation or coral reefs going away or something like that. Tell me your answers and also defend your answer. Why do you think that's such a big problem? Pause the video and answer this classwork question now. And we're going to move on because there's actually a final part that I included here, which is this third classwork question. You'll also see in the classwork form a classwork question 3, which is a little scale from 1 to 10, and that is simply this question. It's asking you on a scale of 1 to 10, how worried are you about climate change? For number 1, you're going to tell me that you're not worried at all. If you click 10, that's something that you are super, really, really worried. You think that's a huge problem. Pause the video and answer classwork question 3 now. Alright, and moving on from there, folks, that takes us to the end. That is all for today, and heck, there's not even an exit ticket, so it is not exit ticket time. You should be if you have a makeup test, you should be going and doing that makeup test now. And B, if your name was named as someone who is missing assignments, you should go and start making up those assignments now. That's all we got. I also, of course, want to mention today's cool thing. I told you guys I'd have more music coming your way. For some reason, recently I've been listening to a lot to this band that was popular, man, back when I was in like 4th and 5th grade, called Sum 41. That's an angry, young pop punk band, and man, is the music so good. So the cool thing that I'm going to be linking is a video of them performing all the way back in 2003 their song called Still Waiting, and it is a rockin' good time. I recommend checking it out. It's a short song. I think a lot of you guys will be like, this is very different, but I also really like it. Check it out today. It'll be fun. All right, that is all we got for you. Go make up your test if you need to, make up assignments if you need to, and if not, relax. Congratulations to you. Peace.